the account of someone already dead. Starts posting as if they're still alive. You open a photo in the dark and find a familiar face, twisted, staring at you like it's begging for help. And what if, out of nowhere, the face of a dead, missing friend appeared on your feed, sending you the location of their body?
These are just some of the terrors that may find you in. The ghost stories that led to my death. 100 dark tales inspired by the Japanese manga of Junji Ito. With each new story, a candle goes out. When the last candle goes out, there is nothing left but darkness and the sound of what comes to get you. Each chapter is an encounter with the supernatural, the unimaginable, bizarre creatures, hauntings, and killers. Welcome to the fourth dimension, your favorite suspense shorts. What is real to you? Despair took over everyone after a young woman posted on her social media that she had finally uncovered the whole truth behind the mysterious account of Aya, Takanori's friend. Shortly after, as if she had been brutally silenced, her account disappeared, and days later, her body was found lifeless by the police. The exact cause of her death remained shrouded in a thick veil of mystery, fueling an avalanche of conspiracy theories. Some claim she had been murdered by a cruel maniac. Others, in even darker delusions, said she had been devoured by a monstrous creature from some shadowy corner of the world. Even knowing there would be no further interactions with that account, Takanori couldn't bring himself to unfollow it. That account was, after all, the last living connection he had with his friend. However, on an ordinary day, while holding his phone absent-mindedly, the impossible happened. A new post appeared, like a ghost emerging in the night. The post, at first glance, made no sense. It was just a completely black image, without a caption, without any visible detail. Takanori's first thought was that someone had hacked Aya's account. After all, she couldn't be posting anything anymore. But before he could process it, more posts started to appear in quick succession. One after another, as if Aya herself was alive and controlling the profile. Discomfort quickly turned into dread. Takanori felt that whoever was behind this was cruelly desecrating the memory of his dead friend. He went back to the first black photo, overwhelmed by a wild uneasiness, searching for any hidden meaning. Then, driven by an almost masochistic instinct, he turned up the brightness on his phone screen to the maximum. At that moment, his eyes widened in pure horror. In the darkness of the image, his friend's face emerged, twisted in an expression of absolute despair, eyes wide open as if begging for help. Although he didn't understand why someone would post such a macabre photo, Takanori immediately recognized the location. In the background, behind the tortured face, there was a specific graffiti on the wall, a detail he remembered perfectly. It was from a public restroom located in a forest park in the neighborhood where he lived. The recognition triggered a storm of thoughts. When had that photo been taken? How could someone have taken Aya there? Despite knowing the danger, Takanori decided he had to investigate. He grabbed only a pickaxe, the closest object he thought he could use to defend himself, and left the house determined. He thought that if he saw anything suspicious, he would immediately call the police. Maybe, with a bit of luck, he could finally unmask whoever had hacked Aya's account and perhaps get some answers. When he arrived at the park, Takanori moved forward cautiously, his heart beating as if it would explode in his chest. He entered the bathroom, already knowing exactly which stall to look for. Upon finding the graffiti, the confirmation of the setting sent a chill down his spine. Without hesitation, he opened the stall door, and with the phone flashlight trembling in his sweaty hand, searched every corner for clues hidden in the darkness. As he found nothing, he decided to check the photo on his phone again. He turned the brightness up to the maximum, and at that moment, noticed that there was a new post on Aya's account. It was another black photo, apparently with no detail, at least at first glance. When he brought his face closer to examine it more carefully, he felt the blood freeze in his veins. The image was of himself, seen from behind, wearing the exact same clothes he had on at that moment. Panic took over instantly. That photo was irrefutable proof that he was not alone there. Takanori swung the flashlight frantically, illuminating the area outside the stall. Then he heard a strange sound, a sequence of dry clicks coming from above, as if something was about to fall on him. But there was no time to react. Suddenly, a rope violently wrapped around his neck, pulling him upwards with brutal force. In desperation, Takanori struggled for air, eyes wide open, legs kicking in the void. Meanwhile, the man behind it all, hidden in the shadows, took the opportunity to photograph his terrified expression, immortalizing the same despair that Aya had felt. In an almost amused tone, the killer murmured about how fascinating it was to see people always show the same pathetic expressions in their final seconds of life. Takanori tried to fight, scratch the rope, search for any small gasp of air, but it was useless. The man, with a cold and calm voice, asked if Takanori had never gone fishing before. He spoke at length about how, in fishing, you only needed to cast the bait and patiently wait for some foolish, hungry prey to bite. When Takanori finally took his last breath, the killer remarked that, after a while, catching ordinary fish had lost all its thrill. He needed something bigger, more exciting, more human. Days later, Takanori's account began to be updated. A new trap was set. A black photo was posted, seemingly with nothing noteworthy, but all it took was for someone to turn up the brightness on their screen to see, hidden there, the desperate expression of his new victim. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, become a member and get access to exclusive content. Tell us in the comments which manga or story you want to see here. Come be part of something beyond imagination. Welcome to the fourth dimension, your favorite suspense shorts. What is real to you?
Police are intensifying their search for the person now being referred to as the Rope Maniac, a serial killer believed to be responsible for at least 5 murders in recent weeks. Among the victims is digital influencer Aya Yamashi, whose body was found showing clear signs of strangulation and ritualistic staging. Authorities urge the public to remain vigilant. The killer is still at large. Avoid going out alone. End of transmission.